Hi, it's Marika Lake and welcome back to my channel. I live on the west coast of Australia with my hubby Greg and our 5 children. I have Will, who is in grade 9, Em is in grade 5, Cruz is in grade 3, Jackson is in grade 1, and we have a newborn baby in the house, baby Jay. And here in the Lake House Homeschool, we have been homeschooling for 5 years now. Now, usually on my channel, I am showing you all sorts of books and things that are related to kids and to homeschool. But in this video, I thought I would mix it up a bit and actually show you all of the books that I am currently reading, using, working through at the moment. So I've got a bit of it's not really a book haul, but just I thought I would show you all the awesome books that I am currently reading and really enjoying. All right, so let's have a look at these books. I'm going to show them to you in absolutely no particular order. They're just sitting in a pile. But usually with my books, as you can see, I have a whole pile that I'm currently using, reading, working through, because I like to have a lot of books on the go, especially now that I have 5 children, I have a newborn baby, and sometimes sitting down to read is just not something that I can do. So it would take me a long time to get through just kind of one book if I was doing it that way. So I've just got a million books on the go. I have them in different rooms of my house all over the place, and that's just how I work. So the first book that I have here is this one. This is called The Pleasure of His Company, and this is by Dutch Sheets. If you didn't know, I am a Christian. This is a Christian book, and it just says down here, A Journey to Intimate Friendship with God. A friend of mine actually bought this for my birthday. My birthday was back in February, and it is now July. So it's taken me a long time to work through this book, but I am really enjoying it. Let me just read to you the back cover. It says, there's just something about people who are close to God. Through the ups and downs of life, they remain secure, hopeful. If you want a more rewarding spiritual life, if you want the pleasure of knowing your Creator's heart, this soul-lifting book is for you. And so I'm really enjoying it. This is the first time I've ever read a book by Dutch Sheets. I know he's been around for a long time, but I've never read any of his things, but I'm actually really enjoying this. So that is The Pleasure of His Company. I am enjoying that. Now I'm also working my way through the Psalms at the moment, and the translation that I'm reading is from the Passion Translation. Now this is one of the original copies of the Passion Translation, and this copy just has the Psalms and Proverbs in this one. I know now you can get a lot of them in one book, but I've got a lot of books of the Bible just kind of in one book. And I have read this many times, and I really love reading the Psalms in the Passion Translation. So I am working my way through that and really enjoying it. Now, a novel that I have just finished reading is Enola Holmes. Now, this is the first book in the series. This is Enola Holmes, The Case of the Missing Marquess. I can never say that right. Now, I actually watched, as it says here, it is a movie on Netflix. There's actually 2 of these movies on Netflix, and I absolutely adore those movies. They are one of my favorite movies and I watch them a lot. And I saw this on somebody's shelf, and I asked them if I could borrow it, and I really did enjoy reading this book. It is a little bit different to the movies, but I expect that anyway. But this is really great. So let me just give you a little bit of information about it. Enola Holmes is the sister of the famous Sherlock Holmes, the detective, and she is just young. She's, I think, in the movies she's 16. I don't know, in the book I think she's a little bit younger, but she's basically Sherlock Holmes' younger sister, and she wants to be a detective. And so it just says here, Enola Holmes, teenage girl turned savvy detective. When Enola Holmes, sister to the detective Sherlock Holmes, discovers her mother has disappeared, she quickly sets off to find her in London, but nothing can prepare her prepare her for what awaits. For when she arrives, she finds herself involved in the kidnapping of a young marquess, fleeing murderous villains and trying to elude her shrewd older brothers, all while attempting to piece together clues to her mother's strange disappearance. Amid all the chaos, will Enola be able to find the Marquess and her mother? So I loved this book, but even more, I did really enjoy the movies. This is a picture from the movies. So if you haven't checked out the movies, I really do recommend them. I absolutely loved them. The next book I'm going to show you is actually my favourite book from when I was a child, and it is The Enchanted Wood by Eden Blyton. There's I think 3 in this particular series, but I have a lot of Eden Blyton books on my bookshelf that I do read aloud to the children, but I actually just wanted to pick it up and read it for myself just for a bit of nostalgia. As I said, it was my most favourite book as a child. I don't have my childhood copy anymore, unfortunately, but this is exactly the same. I remember my childhood copy. It was so tattered. I read it so much. I just loved this story. And so I just was after a little bit of nostalgia, and it was a quick read, and I really enjoyed going and reading this children's book. I recommend reading, obviously I read children's books all the time because I read aloud to my children, but I do really enjoy reading children's books. So if you don't know what The Enchanted Wood is about, this is what it says on the back. When Joe, Beth and Franny move to the country, they discover they are living next to a mysterious enchanted wood, and deep in the wood is the oldest and most magical tree in the world, the faraway tree. And it just tells the story of their adventures in the faraway tree, and I really loved reading this. It was a cozy read. Now, because I had finished The Enchanted Wood, I then wanted to read another book that was a favourite of mine from my childhood. And so I haven't started yet, but I'm going to be reading Anne of Green Gables. And I have this most beautiful painted cover edition of Anne of Green Gables, and it is just the sweetest. It is absolutely beautiful. So if you have never heard of Anne of Green Gables before, where have you been? This is a very old story, but I absolutely love. I remember watching the movies as a young child and absolutely loving the story of Anne of Green Gables. It doesn't have a blurb on here, but the story is Anne. She is actually an orphan, and she gets taken in by a brother and sister to live on their farm, which is called Green Gables. And it's the story of Anne coming of age in the community. It is set in Canada, in just beautiful surroundings back in, I don't know, maybe the 1800s, but it is such a lovely and sweet story. And so I'm about to start reading that Anne of Green Gables. Now, this next book I am going to show you, I am just about to start. It is the Cultivate Magazine. This is put out by, there's a Christian music group called the Cageless Birds, and I really enjoy the Cageless Birds and Michael and Melissa Helser, who head that up. And I have actually was at an intimate, I don't want to say concert, but like worship set with the Cageless Birds and the Helsers, and I absolutely adored that experience and adore them. They have released quite a few years ago now this magazine series called Cultivate, and this one is the process of living from your heart, and this edition is all about the art of connection, and this is part 1, and this says volume 5. There's probably 5 or 6 of these magazines, and the reason I ended up on getting this magazine, someone actually gifted it to my husband a year or so ago, and I didn't look at it. But recently I was watching on YouTube a video from Jonathan Helser from Cageless Birds, which I will link in the description box down below. And he was talking about journaling with God, and they had this printout that came from that video that I worked through, just like in my daily devotions and in my journaling process, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it actually came from their Cultivate magazine, one of the magazines that they had, and the edition that one was from is not this one, but I remembered, I have a Cultivate magazine in my possession, and so I dug it out, and so I haven't started it yet, but I'm super excited to dive into this and read this and learn about this. Again, it's this edition's talking about the art of connection, the process of living from your heart, and it talks about how to connect in relationships, in marriage, how to connect with the Lord, and things like that. And so I am super excited to dive into that. And then I probably will end up purchasing that other Cultivate magazine that they were talking about from that video, because it just looked really rad and something that I would love to do. But I am using that one as well. And the last book that I'm going to show you is actually an art workbook that I haven't started yet, but I bought this book just before, and it arrived just before our last baby came. So baby Jay, currently he is just about to turn 7 weeks. And so I haven't been able to get to this book because I've been busy with a newborn, but I am super excited to get into this book. So this is a watercolor workbook, and it says 30-minute beginner botanical projects on premium watercolor paper. And this is from it's from Sarah Simon, the Mint Gardener. And this book looks absolutely amazing. I love doing art and watercolor art. I'm not very good. I'm just more of an illustrator, I guess, just drawing black and white, very simple pictures, and having a go with my with watercoloring. But as I said, I'm just a novice, and I do it just purely because I enjoy doing it, and it's just a lovely way to spend my time. But I am interested in learning more techniques, and so this book just looked like it would be really good to start working on some of my techniques. And I'll just show you it. So it has all of obviously the information in here for you to learn, but the reason why I bought this book is because it actually has watercolor paper in the book and projects that go step by step so that you can learn and how to mix the colors without mixing them to, paint without mixing them together, and how to do the shading and the light and dark and all those kind of things. And this is actually watercolor paper, and I think it is, maybe it's perforated so that you can actually take it out. No, it's not. That's a shame. If it was perforated, that would be even better, but it's not. But it has all of these art projects in there that's on watercolor paper that just takes you through step by step how to do it. So I am super keen to dive into that and have a go and just learn some new great watercolor techniques. So that is a watercolor workbook. And along with that, I did buy myself a new watercolor paint set, and I just have basic watercolors here, just the palette that has all of the standard kind of colors, and I just wanted to get a nice set that is just for me, not for the kids to use. And I ordered this along with the watercolor workbook, and I just ordered it off of Amazon Australia. And this is just a premium, it says premium quality watercolor paint set, and it comes in this beautiful tin. I haven't used it yet, so it is brand new. And as you can see there, it comes with a watercolor brush. We have some of these already. I love those. And a paint marker and a brush, and this is a sponge. And then it has this where you can, has the names on there, and you can do like a sample, but that's the colours there. And then that is the watercolor paints there. And then it's just got a few mixing spots there, but I do have my own mixing tray. But I just thought that those colours were absolutely beautiful. And to me, it just feels like such a grown-up paint set compared to the one I have. And so I'm super excited to start using that paint set. So I bought that to go along with my watercolor workbook. So I got those two together. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope you had a good time looking at all the books that I am currently working through. Where I can link to the books that I've shown you, I will pop those links in the description box down below, and I'll also pop some links down there to other videos that you might enjoy from my channel, or you can go over to my channel and check out all of my other videos. As I said, we're a homeschooling family, so I do homeschooling videos, days in the life, when we go on holidays, all just stuff like that. So I hope you'll follow along on our journey. Just hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I would love for you to join us. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.